welcome back to Super Ultra Budget Magic Online. Today I'm playing Standard, a deck that I like to call Paradox Vault. This is a hand that I can work with. This is a deck that I had built before Ixalan rotated in. And honestly, I thought it was better before rotation. But I managed to tinker with it and make some updates. And the backbone of the deck is really Oracle's Vault and the Paradox Engine, which are still available, and it still kind of works. So the biggest payoff from the deck previously was the it was an Eldrazi, if I can think of the name of it now. Endbringer. Pretty awesome card. Lots of stuff. Mostly overlooked. It does get some play in older formats though. So that has rotated out, and there are a couple of other things that I've brought in terms of making this deck actually kill opponents. That includes the Quicksmith Rebel, which I'm going to tap an artifact, and Bantu's Monument, which I'm able to drain my opponent with. And then those lots of mana dorks in order to just essentially go infinite between Oracle's Vault and the Paradox Engine. It's a fun deck to play. So first I want to get a whole bunch of mana dorks out. The other update that I made to the deck is the Greenbelt Rampager. That does a couple of really cool things for the deck. It only costs one, and so you can cast it practically for free if you're having trouble casting something to activate your Paradox Engine. And then, as often as not, it gets bounced, so you get to play it again. And that's kind of awesome for this deck. Right here, I'm going to try to get Oracle's Vault out and online. I've got 6 here, so that's enough to get the first activation. You want to start getting some bricks on those. Doesn't really matter what color mana I'm using. So the other thing this deck does, it utilizes that red 1-drop out of Famine Kit. Ooh, he's got a counter. And I've got no response for that. So, I'll pass turn. It's got that red 1-drop that can be used to... Nice, another mana dork. Do I want the activation or just the dork? I'll take the dork. And you think about the mana dorks being creatures. The Cultivator's Caravan costs 1 more, but while it's not a creature, you can tap it on the first turn. So I can still cast another Oracle's Vault, even if I can't start activating it right away. Let's see if he's got another counter. Looks like he probably does. Countervailing Winds. Okay. Does not want to play against the Oracle's Vault. So they countered it again. And I'll pass turn. They are letting me get my mana dorks out. I guess they plan to clean those up later. One of the nice things about the Servant of the Conduit and the Channeler Initiate that I have in here is that they've got decent bodies on them for attacking if you get to that point, and that's also a big upside of the Cultivator's Caravan. So, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I only got 3 more, so I can't get my Rebel out just yet. And they're going to let Pontu's Monument land. Let's see, I'm going to, how much does it cost to crew this? 3? What a rip-off. But it's got a decent body, so I am going to crew it. There we go. Now they're doing something. Okay, fine. That was save yourself 5 life. That might have been a wasted disallow, but who am I to judge? I'll go ahead and swing in with this Servant. I used up all my energy already, so we'll have to wait till next turn for the Quicksmith Rebel. Start tapping to beat them down with Pontu's Monument. It does end up putting a lot of responsibility on the monument, so they get kind of 2 for 1 if they're able to remove it. But that might be just fine. Oh, very interesting. I saw a bunch of blue and wondered if I might be up against like a Approach to the Second Sun kind of deck, but it looks like they are trying to always yield. That's fine. Looks like they're maybe trying to mill me, which is an interesting challenge. There's actually some pretty cool standard mill decks around. Screw this with the Quicksmith. Dunzo. And then I will swing for 10. Sounds pretty good, right? What has happened here? this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. Boom. Just going to take it. Okay. So I assume my opponent's trying to put out one of those fleet swallower things or whatever. I think it costs 7 to cast it, and it doesn't look like they're really ramping. And they don't have a whole ton of answers for the creatures that I've got out, so this may be a decent matchup for me. It's not unusual for this deck to actually go off, at least in the limited experience that I've had with this version and my old version. But in this instance, it looks like I may not even have to. Mr. Chris Sad. Right. He's trying to make a decision. A compelling argument. Top 5 cards. Okay. And presumably that gets doubled with Frank's Sanity. And I've got a lovely land. I'll let my opponent think it's something better. Okay. Game 2. This is just artifacts. I don't think it does anything for enchantments. I've really spent practically no time on this sideboard after... I think this is also just artifacts. Okay. That's it. We'll just leave it as is then. There really are some great enchantments right now, and not a lot of great enchantment removal. So, not a bad thing to have. I have just 1 land. It's probably not a great spot to be, but I'm going to go for it. We'll get to start ramping a little bit if I can get that second land within the next 2 turns. So I may be just fine. Not to mention with my Quicksmith Spy, I might get to drop some more lands. I'm running 22 lands in the main board for this deck. That's frequently enough to keep me happy. Pyramid of the Pantheon. I haven't had a chance to see it get up to enough brick counters to use the second ability on it yet. Presumably it should be very good, but I'm not even convinced that it needs a place in the deck just yet. It might do better just replacing it with some plain old boring mana dorks. Combat, instants and sorceries. Great, so I've got 1 land, and I can't do anything except cast another pyramid. Draws with no lands. So, out of 51 cards, I've got 21 lands still. Should be a reason to get 1 any day now. It was a risk to keep that hand with just 1 land in it, but Shielded Ether Thief. Right, I can do something, but but I can't play another land yet. So here's that Rampager like we talked about. And it's countered. Well. Seriously, I've got nothing I can do. Last turn. What is that, like 4 draws and no extra land beyond that first one? I've seen 11 cards and only one has been a land. There are still 21 lands in my 49 that are still in the library. Yay! I've got a land. Check it out. Okay. Let's get out a dork. Rude. It's just rude. Got the essence scatters. So today's actually Halloween, and I think the trick-or-treaters have stopped for now. They just drew into all of their essence scatters. That's handy. Okay. Great. There is a land. I will cast Rishkar. Put the counter on my own. Up to. Okay. Alright. I've never been in that situation where the second potential creature was my opponent, so I'm glad it didn't make me put one on there. Because that would have been disappointing. Nice. Very nice. And the fraying sanity. Debating whether I want to put out Rishkar or start activating pyramids. I think I do want to keep working with Rishkar because, again, I think the pyramid has potential to be very powerful. But I just haven't had the experience with it yet. Use that one to deal damage. We have to specify what we're doing. Damage to my opponent. His turn. Today's Halloween, so I'm getting all sorts of text messages from my family talking about all the costumes. Alright, I've got 3 Oracle's Vaults in hand. I will tap this to deal 2 damage to my opponent. cast the first of my Oracle's Vaults. They are tapped out, so they can't counter it. And there's no sense in attacking into a 0/4 ball. Whenever it blocks, so that would actually be advantageous for them. Discard a card. Okay, that's fine. Bloodlust Insider. Not that important to get out at the moment. I will pay 2. It is a Greenbelt Rampager. Casting it doesn't do anything extra special for me. Actually it does, because it ends up being like card draw. So I will cast the Rampager. That puts it into my hand rather than in the exile. And we'll go ahead and activate this in the meantime. This is my opponent. It's very interesting. Not expect these bodies to be big enough for my creatures as blockers. I can cast my Bloodlust Insider, so that's handy dandy. Alright, this is... what are we on, game 2? My opponent's only got 4 lands. My deck has not been moving as efficiently as I would have hoped. Got another Greenbelt Rampager. Let's see, I want to deal 2 damage to my opponent. Multiple creatures here. Doing that actually does not benefit me. I'm just going to activate this for now. And this I do want to play. And I'll pass turn. I'm down to 28 cards in my library. He bounced me. Okay. I'm not attacking. to discard, so I guess I probably don't need 3 Oracle's Vaults. Okay. I'm going to activate the Oracle's Vault. That land. So that leaves me 3. So I will also play Rishkar. And that is a hard counter. The other one, I may have actually missed an activation of this pyramid. Single-handedly take my opponent out of 10 life, so that may be hopefully met. Choose attackers. None of them. I'm down to 15 cards in my library. My opponent still only got 4 lands. Not real far ahead of me. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is good. Do I want to do that first or the Paradox Engine first? I'm going for the engine. Let's see if I can make something happen. I don't have the mana dorks out that I want. And I'm not producing the energy that I want, so I may get lucky and just go off on this turn. But there's no guarantee of that. Damage to this opponent. What you got here? Okay. Okay. Bantu's Monument. Yes, I'm happy to get that out, but whether or not it's enough to get me there is yet to be seen. Hopefully I can get a dork out. I do have the Bloodlust Insider so that I can potentially if I do get a mana deck, I should be able to cast it. And let's, oh, right. Before I cast something new with that, I want to deal damage to my opponent. I want to miss those activations. Then I can activate the vault. It is a mana dork, which is good. That also drains my opponent with Bantu's Monument. I don't care which order you do them in. Okay. 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 So this one taps to deal damage here. Good. This one taps to give haste here. Also good. This one taps to give me mana. I want some green mana. And then this one taps to play the top card of the library. It is another Bontu's Monument. It's legendary, so it'll just replace. I got the match. That's how the deck works. Hope you like it, and I hope to get more games up in the future. Thank you very much.